Welcome back to YouTube for another exciting and thrilling video about how to create objects in AutoCAD. Today we're taking a look at arcs. And so our steps in creating arcs they're all pretty much the same, just depends on the input that you have available to draw your arc. So probably the most popular arc is going to be the start, center, end arc. So here's your steps for creating a start, center, end arc. First thing, set your drawing aids. Second thing, set your current layer. Third is start the start, center, end arc command. Fourth thing, click or enter coordinates for your start point. Fifth, click or enter coordinates for your center point. And then sixth, click or enter coordinates of your end point. So you'll notice in AutoCAD there are a lot of different ways to create arcs. If you expand it out, looks like there's 11 different ways that you can create arcs in AutoCAD. We're going to take a look at a few of these, that hopefully from that, when you need to use the others, that you'll be able to figure out how to use those. And also in AutoCAD, if you just hover over a command up in the ribbon and just leave your cursor there for a little bit, usually it'll give you an example or even a little demonstration on how to use that command. So for instance, here our 3-point arc, AutoCAD shows us it takes 3 points, and those are just any 3 points on the arc itself. And from those 3 points, AutoCAD will determine where to draw the arc from there. So let's go ahead and take a look at ours. So the first thing, we're going to take a look at 3 different arc commands: the 3-point, the start, center, end, and the start, end radius. So first thing, as always, is let's turn some drawing aids on and off. So everything should be turned off with the exception of dynamic input, our hardware acceleration, and object snaps. And on our object snaps, if we click that little arrow to the right of our object snaps, we'll get our object snap settings. So click on object snap settings, and I just have endpoint, center, and quadrant turned on. So just make sure you have those 3 turned on, and then we're ready to go. So first thing is we're going to just draw a rectangle that's 8 by 4, just like what we did in the last video. So I'll go ahead and give you a minute to do that. And once you've got that created, then we're ready to do our 3-point arc. So with your 3-point arc, you come up here, click on arc, expand it out, and again, which one of these options you use depends on the inputs that you have available to you. So for this, we've got 3 inputs that we're going to use. So we'll use our 3-point arc. Down the command line, it says specify your start point. So I'm going to click the lower right hand corner. It's my start point. Then it says specify second point. So I'm going to move straight up from that, and that upper right hand corner, that's going to be my second point. I'll click there. And then the upper left hand corner will be my third point. So I'll go over there and click there. And from those 3 points, I've got a 3-point arc. Now we'll take a look at the start, center, end. So I'll go ahead and delete it just by clicking directly on it. Hit delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. Come back up to my arc command, and I'm going to choose my start, center, end option. So for start, center, end, I can come up here, and before you get started, one of the important things to remember in AutoCAD is that arcs are drawn counterclockwise. So if I start on the right side and move to the left, I'm going to get an arc that comes up. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. AutoCAD says specify start point of arc. So I'm going to choose that upper right hand corner as my start point. It says specify center point, and so I'll use that same format like what we've been using to draw lines. So I'm going to enter in 4 tab 180 degrees and hit enter, and now I'll specify my center point to be right in the middle of that rectangle, right where I want it. And then it says specify endpoint, or you can hold control. So the hold control is a new feature to AutoCAD. So see here, my arc started over here on the right, and it's being drawn in a counterclockwise direction. If you want it to go in the other way, so if you wanted the arc to be drawn in a clockwise direction, you can hold control and then click your last point. I'm just going to go ahead and not hold control down. I'm just going to click my last point. So that's my arc in a counterclockwise direction. So if I wanted the arc to go the other way, I'll come back up here. I'll start my start, center, end again. This time I'd start on the left for my start point. My center point, I've already got the center of my previous circle, so I just go ahead and click on it. And then the end point will be right there. And so both of these circles were drawn in a counterclockwise direction. So that will help you as you're working with arcs, is always start so that the arc will be drawn in a counterclockwise direction. Alright, so then for our last one, I'll go ahead and select these two arcs, hit my delete key on my keyboard to get rid of them. And so the last option is start end radius. So I'll come back up to arc, come on down to start end radius. So again, counterclockwise means I'm going to start on the left. So my start point, and then it's going to want end point next. So I'll click on my lower right hand corner and then just type in the radius. So I'm using a radius of 5, so I'll just type in 5, hit enter, and I've got my arc using the start end radius option. And so to summarize, here's our steps that we go through to create our arcs. This is for the start, center, end arc. We set our drawing aids first, set your current layer, start the start, center, end arc command, click or enter coordinates for the start point, click or enter coordinates for your center point, and then finally click or enter coordinates of your end point. So that's how you can go about creating arcs in AutoCAD. Join us next time. Looks like we will be taking a look at the rectangle command. So thanks for listening.